Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking about that big trade news that happened. Russell Westbrook is officially going to be suiting up in a Lakers uniform. We also obviously have to talk about the draft. We're going to do that in just a second. Subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JRayTheFanatic. My lighting's all jacked up. I'm in my mom's house. There's no bright spot in here.
Wait, did you go to Denver?
Yeah, I'm in Denver.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I tried to bring like this light, and it's like, oh, I guess that's better. But it's like this tiny little light, and I'm like, this ain't enough. I should have brought a bigger light. Whatever. It's what we got.
We both shot from our parents' houses this week. I was in San Diego, as you guys know, on Wednesday at my parents' house. Had to bring my whole setup down there, which was kind of difficult, but made it work. Also, I saw some comments asking about my owl mug, so I have it here for you guys.
Aww.
Is it an owl, though, or is it a raccoon? I'm not totally sure. It looks a little weird. Anyway, you guys, let's jump into the news. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. This has been a trade that's been sort of like talked about a little bit, projected to happen for a while now. The Wizards, I can hear Jackie click, click, clacking away on her keyboard.
I know. I'm trying to be quiet.
Was the most aggressive typing, you guys.
That was like me being all nice and like, no. And people were asking about my headphones, so I was explaining I got my mom's headphones on because I only brought my noise canceling Beats headphones, and I just felt like that would look too weird. So I was like, Mom, you got some tiny headphones? She's like, no. And then I found these.
Okay, perfect. You're all set. Love the tiny headphones. They feel very like 2000s Walkman, and I like that.
Right.
Okay, so the Washington Wizards have agreed to trade Russell Westbrook, a 2024 second-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, all to the Lakers in exchange for, drum roll please, Kyle Kuzma. And
Goodbye. So long.
And then we also have KCP heading to Washington, Trez, and a number 22 pick. So this was an interesting move for the Lakers. I know I thought that Russell Westbrook, and I still do think that Russell Westbrook can come in and join the system and figure out what he needs to do and where he works the best. But when you think about what the Lakers really need, Russell doesn't necessarily satisfy all of the areas where the team is lacking. So the big question is what happens next, especially for the Lakers, not as much for the Wizards because we simply don't care as much. But so they've now added a third star to the roster to play alongside LeBron and AD, but they also lost depth in doing so. So per NBA sources, the Lakers did go into this offseason with a clear plan. They had plan A, which was unrealistic, but the one that you and I were hoping for the most, which was getting Dame from the Trailblazers. They also were hoping to possibly land Bradley Beal. That didn't happen. Plan B was to get Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook, and then Buddy Hield was plan C. So that was kind of what the expectation was. But then Russ ended up, I guess, asserting his voice into the conversation, told the Wizards that he really wanted to leave and he wanted to be back in LA. And so the Wizards sort of pivoted, and that's what ended up happening. Jackie, what is your initial reaction to this news? How do you think this is going to work for the Lakers next season?
So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about this at length. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of this specific moment in time. I'm excited about it because now I have, LeBron James. You guys know how I feel about LeBron James, and you guys know I love Russell Westbrook. So it's cool that they're on the same team. You bring Rudy Gobert over here, and now I got my three guys on the same team. I really wanted Dame, though, because we love Dame, and I think Dame is a better fit. I think Buddy might have been a great fit, too. My problem with this situation is the same problem I've had since day one. He speeds up the offense in a way that I'm not sure a 36-year-old LeBron and a very fragile AD are ready for. So it's just going to be interesting to see how things play out. That being said, though, they've been very Rob Pelinka has been very adamant that he wants another scorer alongside these two that can take the pressure off. If we don't know anything about Russell Westbrook, we know he can score. So he checks that box for sure. So it's just going to be one of those things to see. I was very disappointed to see Trez go. You guys know that I love Trez. Very happy to see Kyle Kuzma go. KCP was one of those guys where I'm like, if he's good, he's great. But if he's not, then he's just not. And we've been on the not side of that for a while. I don't know what's really going on with him. So I don't have like a big reaction about him not being with us. I understand that, technically that means we've lost some depth, but he really wasn't doing what he was supposed to doing at the last half of the season, and certainly not the playoffs. So I don't really have a dog in that race. But ultimately, I think Russ is an amazing teammate, and I think that sometimes we forget that. So even the things that I'm talking about, if the pace that he plays at is really a problem, if Frank Vogel can put his coaching pants on and coach properly, he can tell Russ that, and then it's going to be Russ will fix it, because that's just who he is. He is a great team player. He wants to win, and it's great. I absolutely think if this is coached properly, this is going to work. So now I've gone from, if Dame goes in there, it's just fine. They can, have a conversation. AD, LeBron, Dame, they can have a conversation amongst themselves. They can figure it out. I'm not saying that AD, Russ, and LeBron can't have that same conversation. I'm just saying this specific situation requires a coach, a really good coach, to step in and say, no, I know you want to do this, but this is what we need. This is what you're going to do. Frank Vogel has not proven to be that coach for me, which is why I have to see how this one plays out. I just don't know. I'm happy for Russ. I know he wanted to come back here to LA, so welcome home. But I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I am excited to see what with the Lakers, because whenever you're able to pair up 3 star players like that, I think that it's always exciting to see. And I hope that Russ kind of finds his groove there and he's able to fit in. He obviously understands moving to a team in order to win, and I applaud Russ for making that choice. Bradley Beal, on the other hand, he just reiterated yesterday that he plans on not leaving the Wizards. What is his deal? Why does he watch his teammates leave the Wizards? He sees Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers for another shot at a ring, and he is still standing by the Wizards. What do you make of that?
He's going to end up in the exact same situation Damian Lillard is. He's going to end up in a situation where it's too late to really make this move. It's going to be difficult for you to make a move. He's going to reach that point where he's fed up. I don't know how he has not reached that point yet. I honestly don't. I don't have a logical explanation as to how you can look at your franchise. Russ wanted to leave. Let's talk about that for a second. And I get that it's a small market, but Russ wanted to leave. He wanted to get out of Washington. So there's problems in that franchise. So you can't even keep a guy that would have been a great teammate for you, would have been a great asset. You can't keep him. He really wants to leave. You want to stay? Why do you want to stay? I need him to say that. And I need him to say something other than it's really important to me you're not going to get a ring at that franchise. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but it's not going to happen. You're not going to get a ring there. So stop saying that and tell us the real reason that you want to stay there, because I can't make this make sense.
I think he's just too comfortable. He just doesn't. He's probably one of those people that really doesn't like change, and so he's willing to sacrifice any dreams of becoming an NBA champion in order to just stay comfy, which is never good. Growth begins outside of your comfort zone, people. I know that that's like a silly basic girl quote that makes its way around the internet, but Bradley Beal really needs to listen to it. Let's talk about the draft, okay? Let's get into some of these updates. I want to hear your take on all of this. So Detroit took Cade Cunningham. We all kind of knew that they would that's what they would do. He's clearly the number 1 player in the draft. He's the full package. He's big. He can do it all with the ball, and he's the kind of cornerstone player that you want at number 1 to build around. The Rockets are also officially in rebuild mode. They went with Jalen Green over Evan Mobley since they already have Christian Wood. The Cavs snagged Evan Mobley. He's got the wingspan, but he can also shoot from the outside. He can defend on outside switches too. And then with the Raptors, they went with Scotty Barnes. He's projected to be an elite defender, but he does need to improve on his shooting a little bit. That's something that could hold him back from becoming a really good NBA player. But we've seen rookies enter the league who aren't necessarily the strongest shooters, and they do end up improving. So there's room for that to happen, but he's just a little bit more of like a slightly more of a wild card pick than the other ones. Jackie, what do you think are some of the best pickups that we saw in the draft last night?
I definitely think the first one you talked about, Cade Cunningham. I think obviously no matter who was picking first, you have to go with Cade, regardless of what your needs are. He was literally the best player in the draft. So I think that is a good look for Detroit. I agree with you as well on Jalen Green. I think he probably, though, with Jalen Green, he's really, really good. Like I don't want to sleep on him at all. He probably would have been in contention for that number 1 spot had he not gone to the G League, if he'd gone to college, which again, I'm super excited that we're doing this whole you don't have to go to college thing. However, I do think that that's still fairly new, and people aren't quite ready to say, yeah, it doesn't matter that you didn't go to college. What you did in the G League is great. I actually think he's probably a little bit better than Cade, only because in the G League, he's playing against grown men. He's playing against bigger, tougher guys, so he had to prove himself in that situation, and he played very, very well. It's just easier for us to get the tape that we need on Cade. So it just makes life a little easier. That's why I'm saying this is just a new time that we're not really that used to yet. So, but I like the Jalen Green pick. I like the Cade pick. I think we're going to talk about the Grizzlies pick later. I thought that one was great. The best pick was actually the honorary pick, which that went to Terrence. We're going to talk about that. And I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to play the video and try not to cry for like the 5th time. But that was a very emotional time. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this draft class, I'm not like over the moon about it. I do think, who was the one that I was like, okay, that's going to work? Josh Giddey. I think that he's from Australia. I think he's going to work great for OKC. I didn't get to watch a ton of the draft because I was on a plane. So I was like in and out, watching it. But yeah, the first 2 picks I'm great with. And like I said, the one that we're going to talk about with the Grizzlies, I'm really excited about that pick as well. I'm not going to talk about it right now because it's coming up in the post-up.
Okay, so then you may or may not want to answer this question then, but who do you think got a sleeper pick?
Ooh, I mean, technically the Grizzlies, because he went 10th, and he was expected not to. So we're going to talk about Ziaire. So that's kind of my sleeper pick. But everything that I read before the draft said that he wasn't going to go that high. They were expecting him to go a lot lower. And I think that they're kind of sleeping on his talent a little bit by expecting him to go lower. So I think him going 10th is right around where he should have gone. And I think people are just kind of sleeping on his talent a little bit. So I'm going to go with him as my sleeper pick right now. The Australian guy, though, too, I think OKC might have a sleeper pick as well.
Okay, so then what do you expect Cade, I know you think that Jalen might actually be a better player or at least better prepared for the level of competition in the NBA, but what do you think Cade is going to be able to do for Detroit?
I mean, Cade, like you said, he's the full package. I think he's going to do whatever they need him to do, basically. And that franchise is just, they need him to be that missing piece kind of thing. I am, I don't want to say hate, but I do hate the weight of the franchise resting on the shoulders of a rookie. I don't like that. I don't like us saying, well, what's he going to do? How's this going? I don't like that. Let that man go through his rookie season, get his feet wet, what do they say? Get his sea legs together and then go from there. But I think Detroit knows exactly and this is the thing though, this is technically, in my opinion, I probably would have gone with Jalen in this situation, especially if I want somebody to come in. Obviously you have to go with Cade. He was the best one. I get it. But if you want a guy that already kind of understands the system, is already playing with guys that are grown men and is ready to hit the ground running and maybe doesn't need to get his sea legs together, then you go with Jalen, in my opinion. But I do think Cade's going to walk in there and he is going to be the superstar of that team. Hopefully, if he's not, I think that's going to be a disappointment. But he's going to be exactly what they need to get them over the hump.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It is always a lot of pressure when we get these rookies that enter the league and it's suddenly like, they're going to change the team. And we see that happen so rarely. Ja definitely in his rookie season carried the Grizzlies. We saw LaMelo for a long time.
LaMelo didn't carry anything. Let's not get crazy. LaMelo.
He didn't carry, but he did transform the team a little bit. I think that for a rookie, he came in and he made an impact. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, I think he was one of the most overrated rookies of all time. I think the expectation for him was incredibly high because of, all the hype that his dad put around him. I said from off top, before he even played 1 second of basketball in the league, he needed to spend another year in college. There were some fundamentals that he just didn't have. And if you have the kind of hype around him that he had, you don't come to LA because the lights just shine too brightly here. The fans expect too much. It's really about that life. So he really underwhelmed to me. I didn't think he transformed anything, with the exception that maybe more eyes, because at that time the Lakers were on this kind of downward spiral, and obviously we got the more eyes and things like that. But no, I definitely didn't think that he no. And people in the chat are saying I'm a hater. What did he do? What did he do exactly? I mean, at the time we would see goose eggs from him. He would just go missing. No, overrated. Mike Locke also said that, when I said I don't like rookies having the weight of the world on their shoulders, he said that's exactly what Cleveland did to LeBron. You absolutely right. And that's why I hate it. That was a high school kid. And I hated him having to be the savior for that team. Jacob, you tripping, but I appreciate the shade. You tripping though. But no, LaMelo was not it for me. LaMelo, I'll do a one-on-one with you though. I'll do a one-on-one with you for sure. But no, LaMelo was not it. I feel like he was completely overrated. I don't think he transformed that team at all. And that was shown. If he was really transformative, he'd still be here. Period. We don't let go of transformative players out here in LA.
I think, okay, wait. We'll get into it later. But LaMelo, not Lonzo, LaMelo.
Oh, I'm thinking Lonzo. You're right. I'm thinking Lonzo. All them damn balls.
I'm confused. I think that LaMelo did make an impact, but also...
I'm thinking Lonzo, not LaMelo.
Yes, everything you said about Lonzo is 100% accurate. And I don't think anybody would ever say Lonzo came in and carried.
That's not true. There's so many people that I've run into that still think we made a mistake getting rid of Lonzo all the time.
Those people are literally out of their minds. I think that getting rid of Lonzo was just as good as getting rid of Kyle Kuzma. This whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, I'm confused. When was LaMelo?
Yeah, all the ball boys. Pause. I know somebody's gonna say it. All them damn ball boys. There's a lot of them. I need. See, Zen Master said it. Jackie got her balls mixed up. I knew somebody was gonna say it. I was trying to say it in a more classy way, but yeah, I got all the balls mixed up.
All right. Well, on that note, let's move on. Let's get into the post-up. I know we have a lot of stuff coming up.
All right, let's get into the post-up. We do have a lot. I'm excited to tell you about something at the end. It's something that has been very nostalgic for me in the past, and I hope it becomes a thing for you, but we'll get into that in a minute. But let's get into this first one because one of y'all in the chat, I don't know who it was, y'all got mad and said, oh, do we have to talk about LeBron every single day? Yes, we do. And if it makes you mad, just know that I'm happy to make you mad because this is how you watch the NBA draft. Y'all take a look at the view. This is a whole mood. He says, not a bad seat to watch the next gen dreams come true. And then he got all his trophies up. Now, he just letting all the haters know, like, oh, I'm watching the same thing you are watching, but my view is a little different. I've accomplished a little bit more. I absolutely love this picture. Of course, now there wasn't a lot of shade on this one, which I was surprised that people weren't throwing a lot. But first of all, I had to put this up because of the name. This is this depressed Alex Caruso fan account. Why is it got to be depressed? But he says he's casually flexing. Yes, he is. And I'm all for the flex. I know y'all mad that we talking about LeBron, but I don't care. Love me some LeBron, and I love that moment in time. Obviously, the other thing we wanted to talk about as far as the draft is something that I know Devin likes to talk about, and that's the fashion. So if we're going to talk about who won the fashion war in this one, I think Cam Thomas easily was the best dressed because he's got this custom suit that was given tribute to Kobe. Hands down, he won it. You guys take a look at this.
Pretty cool stuff. I see, showing off some Cam. Look at inside, he's got the Mamba mentality. Wow, that is looking good.
I love this. I love that. Anytime you get a custom made suit and pay tribute to Kobe, he won it for me, hands down. Now, Jalen Green, people really liked his suit. I'm not on the list. I am not on the list of people who like Jalen's suit. Number one, it's too big. I need you to be fitted. I need you to be looking like you planned this, not that you just ran to your dad's closet and grabbed out his 1970 pimp glitter suit. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Here's a close-up of this. No, ma'am. That is not it. People on Twitter loved it. They said he understood the assignment. I don't like this at all. Devin?
Okay, here's my thoughts on this. I think the suit definitely did not fit well. He needed to get it tailored so that it fit him better. It was way too big, and I understand that oversized suit is kind of like that 90s vibe that a lot of people are trying to do, but this just didn't hit it for me. However, I do appreciate a glitter moment, especially when a guy does it. I think that it's cool. It's like a David Bowie kind of thing. I like that. It's like Prince, you know what I mean? So I sort of appreciate that kind of rock star look. I like the flared leggings. I like that he was bold, but I do wish it fit better. I will say that. But the glitter, I'm okay with it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can pull. Prince is the only guy that could go into my closet and wear some of my clothes and come out, and I still think he's sexy. Not everybody got it like that, and you just got to know if you one of them men that don't got it like that. And I don't think he got it like that. I'm not a fan of this suit, but okay. Devin's like, the glitter works. It works. So let's move on to this next one because this is one of the ones I really wanted to talk about, and because Ziaire is just, I think he's that sleeper pick, Ziaire Williams. He's the 10th pick. Like I said, a lot of people thought he was going to go lower than that, which is crazy to me. But the Grizzlies off top made it clear that they were looking for somebody young who could play very well, play that wing between Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., JJJ. And so I think they got it. I think they nailed it with this pick. And obviously, Ja Morant is happy to have him because they're already talking stuff, and I love this. So Ziaire says, well, I know if he throws me a lob, I'm going to get it. And then Ja was like, well, get ready then. So I love this, that they're already talking, because what do I always talk about? You got to get that chemistry. I like that they're already building this early. This is dope. And then fans seem really happy for this pick as well. So I like this, and says Ziaire Williams could easily been a top 5 pick had it not been for COVID, period. A 3 with them Durant qualities is rare. I fully expect Ziaire to follow in the footsteps of JJJ and Ja. Let's go Grizzlies. I agree. I 100% agree. I think this is perfect fit for the Grizzlies, and I think they knocked this one out the park. So congratulations to them. This next one, like I said, it's going to be a little bit longer than a video than I usually play because I didn't want to talk about this one too much, because even yesterday when I was trying to talk to a friend about it, I got all teary-eyed. And I don't want to embarrass myself on here like that, so I'm going to let Adam Silver handle this, and I want you to see this moment. That's just a beautiful tribute to Terrence Clarke, who was 19 when he passed away. So this is a beautiful moment. I love this. Take a look. Oh, do we have that?
Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to recognize Terrence Clarke. Terrence was an All-American high school basketball star in the Boston area. He attended the University of Kentucky, and following his freshman year, he declared for the draft to pursue his lifelong dream of playing in the NBA. Terrence was expected to be drafted tonight, but he tragically passed away in April following a car crash. He was 19. His extraordinary talent, commitment, and dedication to the game deserve to be recognized on this stage. With us this evening is Terrence's mom, Asmin, his brother Gavin, his sister Tatiana. To the three of you, and to all of those who knew and admired Terrence, please know that he will forever be part of the NBA family. It is my honor to now announce that with the next pick in the 2021 NBA Draft, the NBA selects Terrence Clarke from the University of Kentucky.
Mm. Oh, God. Okay, I'm all right. Woo! I don't have a lot to say because I'm going to cry. So we're going to move on to something funny. Woo! Get it together. So this next one, we had like a whole, I'm still like all emotional. Let me get it together for a second. So we had like this whole debate in our group chat. We had this whole debate on if I thought maybe Kendrick Perkins was like making fun of that moment in time where he was like Baboos when he couldn't say Vucevic. So I was like, maybe he's making fun of himself. I'm clearly the lone man out. I'm the only one that thinks that that's what he was doing. Everybody else thinks he's just an idiot. And I just got to agree with this one, because how you not get this name right? This is like one of the easiest names. Moses Moody. You know I mess up names all the time. What is this? Y'all take a look and let me know. Is he making fun of himself or is he just stupid?
When you look at Moses Moody.
I don't understand. Can we do it one more time?
Moses Moody.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
I'm gonna spit out my coffee. Why does he do that? I don't get it. It is so weird. What is his problem?
It's Moses freaking Moody. How is that hard to say? Oh my God.
Moses. Dude.
People were asking, right, is he having a stroke? Like, what is that? The Vucevic, I can get, okay? That one's a little harder. You a true American, you just mess up foreign names. Okay. Moses Moody? Look, Twitter was like, this is how we looking at Perk right now. Like, bro, get it together. Oh my gosh. And then this next tweet is hilarious because it's exactly it. It's that, I think we have one more tweet where people it's like that Jeopardy thing, whatever. See, okay, who is this in the chat that says, Ardez says that he was joking. He was making fun of himself. I thought that as well until I didn't see this happen in live time, like him stuttering like this. I saw this next moment in live time, which is him owning this moment, which lets me know he literally couldn't say Moses Moody. Take a look.
Reese, can we stop for a second so I can get this right? Moses Moody, okay? Listen, because, look, Arkansas basketball just tweeted at me and said, PERK, Moses Moody. Moses Moody, I got you. My apologies, all right?
Devin, so does this mean that he really messed it up?
I think he did.
Like he wasn't making idiot.
I know.
That is so embarrassing.
Like, I can appreciate a moment when you like make fun of yourself and you know, do something funny like that, but this was not it. He wasn't making fun of himself. Let's just be real. He was definitely messing up the name because he's not meant to be a TV host. Like, that's the bottom line. He's just not cut out for this work, I don't think.
His takes sometimes, I mean, when he gets these good takes, it's like amazing because he has these good takes. He is funny. He's comic relief to me. But don't say a name anymore. Just have these cards and you hold them up and say, today we're talking about, and he did, you know what I mean? Like, just stop. Don't say anybody else's name. This is ridiculous. Oh, you poor man. That was so embarrassing. So embarrassing. All right, but let's go on to this next one because we talked about this yesterday. Damian Lillard and CJ had said that report that Henry Abbott wrote about that Dame would actually forego checks to make sure that Portland did what they were supposed to do as far as getting a roster. Dame and CJ both said that was a bold-faced lie. And so after that, Henry Abbott went to his Twitter to basically address that and say, no, he wasn't lying. So you guys take a look at this tweet. He goes, at some point, I think it was Dame that says, who names their site True Hoop? And he's like, who names their site True Hoop? He says, my whole career is about truth. Of course, I have never published a made-up story and never will. If you think somebody is lying about this Damian Lillard situation, look elsewhere. So then Dame was like, all right, I said what I said, and I said you lying. So he clapped back as well. And he said, now ask yourself that same question about me. I've been transparent for a decade. I never denied where I stood following the season. Don't loop me in because of the state of the game right now when your reporting is simply not the facts, bro. I'm the ultimate source. So basically, I respect that. Damon saying you didn't get it from me. So who did you get it from? If you want to know the truth, ask me, and you didn't. You wrote this story that didn't even come from me. And then, of course, Henry had one more thing to say. And he was like, for sure, appreciate that and you, but realize I work in a profession where my reputation is as important to my livelihood as health is to an NBA player. Please be very careful about calling me a liar. I take my job very seriously and do not lie. And then Dame was like, please be careful. If y'all don't know how that works, please, who you telling to be careful? That's the whole tone right here. Because Dame was like, I said what I said. You didn't ask me. Don't run your mouth about me. I appreciate that. However, he is a reporter. We make conjecture all the time. It's part of the job. But this article that Henry wrote was matter of fact. So, Devin, what do you think? Do you think that Henry, do you write a matter of fact story and say that Damian is going to forego checks if you haven't heard that from Damian Lillard?
Well, yeah, I mean, we see that happen all the time, but then I think what he should have done is as soon as Dame chimes in and says that's not true, where'd you get your information, that's when you back off and say, I was fed information from a trusted source. Maybe they're not so trusted anymore, but he ended up doubling down on a sentiment. But when the subject of the story comes out and says this is false, that's when you kind of retract a little bit. So yeah, write a story based on whatever you've heard. We do that all the time, but don't like die on that grave. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we make conjecture and say, I think all the time. There's a difference between I think, though, and this is what it is. And I think that's what Dame was trying to say. So I went right before the show to see if Henry had responded. He did not. And so, Henry, I think you leave it there. I don't think you say anything else. Just bow out of this one. Now, let's go on to Simone, because Simone Biles, you know that she pulled out of the Olympics. I don't think she owes anyone an explanation. She said that she did what she did, and she's got a huge outpouring of love. But I think, like I said, the negativity is enough that she still feels the need to explain herself. So she posted a couple of things on her Instagram stories. I'm going to show you the first one that she posted, and she's showing basically her going through a routine, and it's just not working out. So we'll take a look at the first one because she posted two. So we'll take a look at the first one. So in this one, you probably can't see the words. So let me just, yeah, that's rough. So let me tell you what it says, because like I said, she's further explaining it. She said, now, this was not happening before I left the U.S. It randomly started happening after prelim competition the very next morning. By that time, no, an alternate was not allowed to be placed in my position for you-know-it-alls. We have 4 on a team for a reason. I chose not to continue the competition and jeopardize losing a medal of any color for the U.S. girls, also for my own safety and health. So we talked about that as well. That was one of her supporters said that, like, if she had come out there and competed and did horribly like this, number one, she could have hurt herself. Number two, could have ended up not even getting a medal at all for the U.S. team. So she posted another one to kind of double down on the people who were calling her a quitter. And so she has another one as well where she's still showing that she's struggling. So we can put that one up as well. And then in this one, I think she takes like a harder fall on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and like you fall on that on hard ground, that's a totally different story. So in this one, she writes, for anyone saying I quit, I didn't quit. My mind and my body were simply not in sync. I don't think you realize how dangerous this is on hard surface, nor do I have to explain why I put my health first. Physical health is mental health. I'm supposed to do 1.5 more twists right in this one. But the good thing is she's feeling the love too. So 1.5 more twists. Let me watch this again. Yeah, that's crazy. If she's supposed to do 1.5 more twists, she could have really hurt herself if she'd have competed like that and landed like that. She is not a quitter, Jeremiah. You quit anger management and you're still here, and we still love you. So just stay calm. But she's getting a lot of love too, and she posted this, and I love her comment on her Twitter about knowing probably for the first time in her life that she's more than an athlete. So we do have I think one more tweet from her, but if we don't, the tweet basically said that she was getting this outpouring of love, and that for the first time in her career, she realizes, I want to read it verbatim because I thought it was so beautiful. What she said, the outpouring of love and support I've received has made me realize I'm more than my accomplishments and gymnastics, which I never really believed before. That's crazy and kind of sad to me if you never realize that you are, more than just what you do. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Devin, what did you think about her saying that she just now realized that she's more than just gymnastics?
I feel like a lot of really, really elite athletes feel this way because so much of who they are and their identity is wrapped up in what they can do on the field, on the court, on the gym floor, whatever it is. And so with Simone being placed on this pedestal as the best gymnast we've ever seen, it's obviously such a huge honor, but it probably is very easy to get lost in that attention, the eyes, the expectations. I mean, it has to be really just heavy on her shoulders. And so I can see why she didn't think before that she was more than just an athlete. And I don't know, I really admire her for what she's been able to do and all of the backlash that she's received. She's handling it with such grace.
Yeah, so this is her tweet that I was telling you about. It said, the outpouring of love and support I've received has made me realize I'm more than my accomplishment and gymnastics, which I never truly believed before. That's crazy, but great for her. I'm very, very proud of her, like you said, Devin. So, and like I said, the good thing is that she's feeling much better now. So congratulations to her for that. She's still the GOAT. I've got nothing but great things to say about this woman. So that's all I've got for the post up. So now let's get into what we not going to do. I am going to tread as lightly as I possibly can on this one because specifically because there's one person in this story that I detest. I do not like at all for a lot of different reasons, but we're going to just dive right into this. You guys remember GWEN Berry? She's the Olympian that we told you about before. She's actually done another interview now where she's talked about that moment where she says that at that moment in time, neither before or after that moment where she had to turn her back during the national anthem, did they play the song while other people were on that podium? She said that she was told specifically it would be played either before or after the medal thing on the podium, right? So she said when she got out there, she felt that she was set up. She also said something that I 100% agree with these Tokyo Olympics. And I know a lot of you think that you should keep politics out of sports. First of all, human decency, having a moral compass and addressing lives that are being taken unjustly, that shouldn't be a political statement. That should be a human statement that says what is happening is wrong. And the fact that you equate it to politics shows me that you're part of the problem. Because standing up for the rights of Black people and wanting justice for Black people is not a political stance. It's about justice. It's about humanity. And if you see it as politics, then you're part of the problem. That's number one. So when she did that, first of all, she has been raising awareness about the injustices that have faced Black people for a long time. But she got this backlash from these, racist politicians, and they drug her. And the problem with that is when you have your political leaders, Ted Cruz and Dan Crenshaw, basically said that she needed to be removed from the U.S. competition immediately, that she wasn't a true American, and they just kind of berated her. The problem with that is you're pandering to your racist following. So when you have these political leaders, now they should keep racism out their mouth. It's not about keeping politics out of sports. Keep racism out your mouth if you in politics, because now all you're doing is pandering to your racist fan base, for lack of a better word. Her protest, she was already reprimanded for her protest. She was placed on probation for 12 months. So obviously that impacted her money. So she lost sponsorships. But to me, there's nothing more American than overlooking the truth and showing violence, especially when it comes to Black people, because that's what she's been receiving now is violence since she said this. On top of that, here in LA, we have a would-be politician in Caitlyn Jenner, who dropped out of politics to go be on Big Brother. So obviously she wasn't taking it seriously, but she had this whole moment in time where she was doing the media circuit to kind of, try to build up her following so she could run for office here in LA. And she used GWEN as her platform. And for two things, and again, I'm going to tread a little lightly because I know this is going to piss you off. Caitlyn Jenner never won a gold medal. Let's just be clear. Bruce Jenner won a gold medal. Caitlyn Jenner did not. But we live in a country where now she can freely live out her life as a woman, and we applaud her for that. But somehow this woman standing up for the rights of Black people, she's a disgrace. You're using her as a platform to kind of rile up the troops that have that racism in them, and they would vote for you because you seem to share that same racism when you don't even look at your past and look at what you came through. Like, you should be the last person not advocating for this woman to have the right to use her voice and live the way that she wants to live. You should be the absolute last person to do that. And if you're going to drop out of politics, where's your loyalty to America? If you really feel like there's something wrong with our political system, so much so that you wanted to run for office, how did Big Brother talk you out of doing it? It was just the money. You guys are playing like this double-edged sword thing, and you're speaking with a forked tongue, and I don't like it. So now these politicians have dragged her so much that now she is receiving death threats. Not only she's receiving them, but they're sending these death threats to her son's school. Who does that? How is it that this woman standing up for justice equals you sending hate mail, death threats to her house and into the school of her child? This is why I have a problem with everything. And this is why I will never say keep, it's not politics. Damn it. I'm going to say that over and over again. Never, ever, ever keep your fight from justice out of whatever sport you play. It needs to be in there because we need to keep these conversations at the forefront. And that this needs to happen when there's all of a sudden threatening your child. That's insane to me. I do not like this at all. This is not it for me. So what we're not going to do is ever miss that we are not a country that is not filled with racism. That's all we are, and we need to do better. So Gwen, I apologize, and I'm so sorry that you and your son are having to go through this. And I would imagine as a mother, that is terrifying to know that these people know where your son is going to school and have so much hate in their heart that they're sending death threats to his school. That's got to be terrifying as a mother. And I apologize to you for that. I am so sorry that you're going through that. But I do have something really exciting that I want to talk about. A lot of you guys are probably too young to remember, but there used to be this show called The Game, and it has Tia Mowry in it. You guys probably know Tia. It's Tia and Tamara. So Tia was in this show called The Game. Pootal was in there too, and he's so fine, y'all. And Brandy joined the cast at one point. It's such a good show. If you guys watch Ballers stole their whole concept from The Game and kind of gave it and threw more money at it. So, but Ballers stole the concept. It was such a great show, and I am really excited because it is coming back. The show is coming back. It's going to be revamped. The show used to happen in San Diego, but now it's moving to Sin City. I love that. It's going to return with, if you did see the show, it's going to have some of the same people that were in the show before, but it's going to have some new players as well. And it's going to have a lot of the same little nuances, because before they used to tackle a lot of relationship topics and how it was difficult to kind of navigate relationships and being in the league at the same time. They're still going to do that, but now they're going to go a step further, and they're going to talk about they're going to do modern day examination of Black culture through the prism of football. They're going to tackle racism, sexism, classism, and all of these other things that we are still fighting for, as well as the fight for fortune and fame, respect and love, and trying to play the game at the same time. You see how it is there, the game. So I love this. If you guys don't know the show, that's okay, because it's being revamped, so you can start watching it right now because it is so dope. All of us need to watch this. I cannot wait. It's kind of like if Devin Howard would do like the melodrama, like who's dating who, plus football, plus social justice. It's going to be great. You guys definitely need to watch it. The first season is going to have 10 episodes. It's going to stream exclusively on Paramount. Paramount's been trying to get me for a while. They got me with this one. I'm definitely going to watch it. So I'm excited. You guys look it up. Look up The Game. It's coming out on Paramount. Let's watch it together. Let's talk about it. I cannot wait. Trust me, it's going to be good. But that's all I got for what we not going to do. So now let's get into Fan or Foe.
It's Fan or Foe.
Yay! It's been a while since we've done a Fan or Foe.
I know!
Do it! I know. I can't wait. Leo, let's get the first one up there. Okay, Kevin L. Lang, our guy Kevin L. Lang, he says, Kuzma. Wait. Am I reading this?
Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
My eyes. What does that say?
Contacts today. So Kuzma is a good player. Y'all are selling him short. Kevin, he's very inconsistent. I'm very, very shocked by this take. Jackie, I know you have something to say.
I still feel like I need glasses. I'm gonna go to the eye doctor right after this show, because ain't no way my eyes are seeing this right. No. Well, if we're selling him short, you can buy him, because we would give him bargain basement prices. I'm glad we got something for him, but I would have given him to you for Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and some Reese's. Seriously.
Yeah, Reese's are more valuable than Kuz, actually. I do love
right.
Buttercups. Okay, let's get into the next one. Suleiman says, I'm saying this right now, Las Vegas Raiders are going to become a dynasty just like the Patriots.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Are we in like retrograde? Is Mercury in retrograde right now?
No idea.
What's happening? I don't know.
Thank you for the input, Suleiman. Let's move on. JD says, who the F wants to pay $5.99 a month to watch my national team? What in the world? That's crazy. It's crazy. Put the Team USA basketball on NBC and call it a day. Yeah, I'm not mad about this. $5.99 a month to watch Team USA is pretty crazy. So, yeah, JD, I'm with you.
I think it's weird that they want the U.S. to support these athletes, but they don't support the U.S. by letting us watch it for free. That's crazy to me.
I know, it's pretty weird, a little backwards. Also, Gary, thank you for the $2.79 in the chat. Appreciate it. Okay, next one.
Yep.
Leo, let's see it. Alex L says, I hope all these players that try to build super teams get the karma they deserve, like the Nets. Okay, I disagree with this statement. I'm fine with the super teams. Do what you got to do to win. I don't even think that the Nets got any karma necessarily. I think that this was an injury-ridden season, and the Nets are going to come back looking probably better than they did this past season. Jackie, what are your thoughts?
You guys know I don't like, per se, the phrase super teams. I get it, why people say that. But I'm telling you, in like 5 years, that term is going to be so played out because the talent continues to elevate year after year after year. And you're going to have so many dope guys. Now, like I said before, just because you have you're an elite talent, that doesn't necessarily mean a whole bunch of elite players on a team are going to make for a great team. It's going to be about finding the right chemistry. But we continue to level up talent-wise, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with a super team. So I don't think there's karma that's necessary in this situation at all. Let's get into the next one, Leo. JD says, right, Jackie, mofos are talking about toughness and can't even stand in a Walmart with a mask on. Absolutely. Seriously, this is about Simone not having the mental, capacity in that moment to compete. Yeah, and then there's all these people with their Twitter fingers, like, just blasting their opinion onto the internet about how Simone is such a letdown and she's so weak. And it's like, okay, then why do you put up such a fight about wearing a damn mask? That's so true, JD. Right. I love that. Okay, next one. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm not going to attempt this name, but they said NBA is already soft. Now they're adding new foul rules to make it to make it softer. These young bucks swear their superstars are the greatest ever. Hell, you can't touch them. Shaking my head. Yeah, I think that this new rule that they're implementing is definitely just adding to the narrative that the NBA is getting soft. Don't you agree, Jackie?
Yeah, absolutely. I forget the name of the Twitter or the Instagram page that I follow, but it shows like all these old school moments in the NBA. And there's this moment where Shaq goes up, slams the basketball. I forget who's standing in front of him, but Shaq comes down and literally pushes him. It's not a hard push, but it was one of those get off me, you can't guard me type pushes. No foul was called. But now even if it's weird. It's weird. It does take away. There's a lot of things about the game of basketball that I'm not a fan of, even though I know Steph Curry transformed the game and I love him for that. I don't like this whole run and shoot thing that kind of came out of him being who he is. I don't like that we don't D up the way that we used to. I don't like the crying and stuff like that. I get it. I definitely get it. So he's absolutely right.
Yep. Let's get into the next one here. Freddie says, the person who did this vandalism is just another hater. I'm sure if he was to know LeBron, he would be ashamed of himself for doing it. Not that I know LeBron, but people hate what they don't understand. 1,000%. This was about that LeBron vandalism. It was in Akron, wasn't it, Jackie?
Yeah, and the fact that was the first LeBron mural in Akron is crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, let's get to the next one. Dean says, going to be a lot of parents trying to explain to their little girls why their hero quit when things got tough. And isn't that really a setback for the black girls that Simone certainly is into the sport? Yuck. Wow. So many gross things about this comment here. Dean, I think you're missing the point altogether, but I'm going to let Jackie take it away because I think she's going to be able to speak more eloquently about this than I can.
So Dean is clearly white. And the reason that I know this is because now all of a sudden you have an opinion about what black girls need. I can tell you there's a long list of things that black girls need. They need equality. They need to grow up and know that they're not going to have the mortality rate when giving birth just because people don't listen to us or appreciate our pain. They need to not be called angry when they voice their opinion. There's a lot that black girls need. One of those things is not whether Simone competes or not. Of all the things that little black girls need, that's not on the list. It's great to see her, especially if you have a little girl that wants to be a gymnast. It's great to see her up there and telling your kids that you can do what she can do. But guess what? There's other gymnasts as well. So please do not ever again in your life say, isn't that a setback for black girls, unless you've asked a black girl, because you way off base on this one. And what black girls need too, if you're going to take this moment, they need to know that they can do what's best for them and not care about what the world thinks about it. So that's what Simone proved in this moment. So you completely missed it. And goodbye, sir.
What I think this person is missing, just to add to that, is that Simone is showing little girls everywhere that not just black girls, not just white, or not just gymnasts, but little girls everywhere of every creed and color, that it is okay to prioritize yourself. Women in general are always kind of taught to be subordinate to the men, to the higher ups, to whatever. Simone said, F all of that, F all of you, I'm taking care of me. And I think that that's an amazing message. I love that. So let's move on. Dean, you missed the mark. You really missed the mark, my friend. Cody says, I really feel bad for young ladies like her and Osaka. I believe the tennis player is under a lot of mental pressure and emotional stress and need counseling before, during, and after these events. Don't forget, these athletes are super talented. However, and more importantly, they're still young, gifted, and human beings, just like the rest of us. So please show your support. It is desperately needed. Thanks. Cody is on the right track here. Cody gets it. Thank you, Cody. That's exactly what we needed
Cody,
to hear.
DM Dean, because he don't get it. So go DM him.
Okay, and I think we maybe have one more here. Okay, so this is David. He said Simone Biles is still the GOAT and she can still outspin all of them, and that black girl magic still poppin' no matter what the haters and the racists try to do. You hear me? I hear you, David. I hear you. What a great one to end it on. I think that was the last one. I love that. Black Girl Magic. Yes. Simone is still the GOAT. Doing everything. She's incredible. We love her. We're stans. All right, you guys, let's wrap up the show for the day. We hope you have an amazing weekend. We're going to be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So don't forget to tune in, subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We forgot to name Fan of the Week.